Hello everyone. This talk is slightly different today, as rather than meeting Lindens, my guests today are moles. That is, they're residents of Second Life who have an extra role as employees of the Linden Department of Public Works. As such, they're responsible for many public builds around the grid, including this amazing arboretum and the other Linden builds here at SL19B. Not only that, there are moles who organise these events, and here at SL19B there's the Shop and Hop, the music festival, as well as making sure that 200 residents create their builds to specifications. And then there's the games such as Linden Realms, Paleo Quest, the Glitches, and many more. There's public builds to enjoy around the mainland, ranging from rusty industrial tankers at sea to a beautiful Greek village on the edge of the Bay of Fables, and winter sports in the snow regions, although I will put in a plea there, please repair the chairlift so we can all go skiing again. And of course, the moles also build and landscape Bellissaria, the continent where you'll find all the new Linden homes and a good few community places too. Then the moles also create the starter avatars, something I believe is in process at the moment, but we'll be talking more about that later. So, I'd like to start by introducing all the moles who've joined me today. The moles on the front row are going to be talking, so that's Alotta, Dreaming, Squeaky, Abner, Dion, and Mr. in the front row, and then in the back row there are other moles who are joining us and who may well end up typing to you, and that's Garden, Sparkling, Quartz, Kronos, Lullabelle, Moonstruck, Adora, Itza, Jester, and Star. Welcome to you all. It's wonderful to see so many of you. Now, first question for the moles comes from Amanda Collin, and her question is, I hope, straightforward. What does the name mole stand for? Why are you called the moles? Who wants to answer that?
Who wants to take that? Abner?
Sure. Since I'm probably one of the few who's old enough to remember. I think that was coined by Michael Linden. I believe so. Because at the time we were digging in the ground, working on the mainland, and I think also I think what might have been a factor was that a group of moles is termed a labor of moles. I don't know. That's my understanding anyway.
Mm-hmm. And so the moles labour for Second Life.
Exactly.
Now, I'm going to ask each of you on the front row in turn how you became a mole and what your job as a mole entails, as I'm sure I've missed out half a dozen things that moles do in addition to my list that I opened with. So, Alotta, would you like to tell me?
Sure. Well, in this case, Pat pretty much just discovered me, to put it like that. I met him and he offered me, after seeing some of the work that I have done through the past, with some pictures. I entered through that. I entered through marketing, in the mole section of marketing. Right now I do QA, so I make sure that all the stuff are working correctly. and also help with SLV.
Right. So, next question to Dreaming. How did you become a mole, and what is your role?
Hi, so I became a mole because last year I watched this Meet the Moles video, and then I was so excited because I was already a content creator. So my role here is I am a content creator. I do some of the mesh and the mesh that a lot of QAs. So that's it.
Right. Oh, that's wonderful that you found out about it through the Meet the Moles chat.
Yes.
Okay, so let's come now to Squeaky. Squeaky, I know some of what you do because I've seen you here doing it. But for the audience, can you say how you became a mole and what your job entails?
Yes, hello everyone. I'm gonna turn it around a little bit actually and start with what I do. As you can see, I've been working on SLB for the past few years now, working together with Missy as organizers for that. That has definitely been very time consuming, and we're starting to spend more and more months on that. But aside from that, I'm also working on the QA team, so the quality assurance and a whole bunch of other stuff in the background. How have I become a mole is actually SLB. I was discovered in, I believe, SLB 15. And that is where I became a mole.
So picked up because of your work, the wonderful work you were doing.
Yep.
Right, so next, the question goes to, well, not to Patch, because I've talked to Patch about how he became Patch Linden. Now we ask Abner, who is, I think, one of the oldest moles. Well, not in calendar years, but in Second Life years.
I think I came in like about the second group of moles when the LDPW was first formed. Which I think Naughty is a little bit older than me, but tomorrow actually, now that I looked at it, tomorrow is my 14th day as a mole.
Wow, that's
so
impressive.
yeah. But it was, I heard through somebody that they were forming this collective of moles, and I sent some things in, and I was accepted, and since then worked on everything from mainland roads to Bellissaria. So yeah.
Right. And you actually build things.
Build things.
Did
you say bill or build things? Because I always bill things. Back in the create things. Okay, back in the day, I did build a lot of things. Anymore, it's mostly mesh. So what tends to happen is I rely on our content creators, some of which are on the stage here, in the front row and in the back, and there are many more. And use a lot of the things that they create to because it's a collaborative effort. They make the things, QA checks the things, we use the things, and it's very collaborative in that. In one person or a small group of people couldn't do it. That's why we have so many, is because there is so much to do, and it requires a lot of cooperation between everyone, and that's how it works.
Right. So Dion, can I ask you?
Hi.
How you became a mole and what you do?
So I became a mole about almost 2 years ago, I think by now. I obviously always enjoyed watching everything the moles and the Lindens do around Second Life, and I got very interested. So I decided to apply and drop a message to Patch about it. And like I said, it's been almost 2 years now. And what I do is I work on the special projects within Second Life. such as Zenoscope and Film Thread. And I also work on the decoration for the Linden homes.
Right. And Mr. at the end of the front row, can you tell me how you became a mole and what you
Hi.
do?
Okay. I'm the newest mole, I think, up here. I am a content creator, and I became a mole through a few months ago. They had put out a post that they were looking for moles. So I applied, and then I was interviewed, and I cried, and told my mom, and she was like, "Oh my God!" And yeah, now here I am.
That's fantastic. Well, what are you actually doing now?
I just majoritively I do content creation that's used by all the other moles.
Right. Okay. So I mentioned earlier there's something I've heard about called the NUX avatars, NUX. Can you explain what this project is all about? Is it just for newbies, or is it something that will affect us all? Who would like to pick up on that?
I think we're all scared to death to touch that because we don't want to say anything that hasn't been officially released. So I think,
Okay.
oh, Mike, Patch's mic just
Mike
died.
died,
Yeah.
yes. So he'll be a sec. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, back. Sorry. What was the question again? It just like
I've heard
randomly
about,
turned off.
right, I heard about the Nux avatars.
Oh, yes.
And I wondered if you could explain what this project's all about. Is it just for newbies, or is it something that will affect us all?
So the new user stuff that we've been working on, which NUX stands really for new user experience. Is kind of a multi-phase, multifaceted project that we've been doing some stuff for. Particularly, what we've been involved with has been projects such as rebuilding Learning Island and the new user tutorialization spaces, which rolled out a little while ago. Thematically matched to, and as a lot of people probably weren't really aware at that time, that it was actually our first glimpse at Newbrook before it happened. Because a lot of the content was actually lifted out of Newbrook before we even teased it to the community or released it. But then we said, we've got to do some more work. And lo and behold, we took a look around at what we offer to new users and said one of the things that we would like to update are the new user starter avatars. And I just so happen to have something to show everybody today.
Oh, yes.
So the avatars as they currently exist are probably going on 5 to 6 years old. They're a blend of system body with some mesh attachments and such. But we have embarked on a project to replace the avatars with all mesh avatars head to toe. Based on the bento skeleton, modernized using all of the latest and greatest in avatar building technology, including based on mesh. And I'm going to call upon the person who happens to potentially be sitting among us to stand up at the front to show it off. We have one of them here with us, and that would be Jester.
Okay, Jester, come forward. Show us your avatar.
So this is our very first head-to-toe mesh avatar. Body, clothing, head, shoes, and this is what will eventually be part of a very large project to bring modernized avatars to the new user experience going forward.
He's very handsome.
Yeah.
Um,
Still working, a few of the details out. This is, very pre-release preview type material we're looking at here. But they'll have a whole array of initial outfits available to choose from when they go to sign up and create their avatar, including hairstyles and full ranges of various bodies and types, and of course male, female components. We are angling towards making everything also as unisex as possible, and one of our design theses for these bodies and avatars is what we create for either side of the gender slider, as it were. The stuff will work across and or be created across both types. So what you see him wearing right now would also be available for the other side of the gender spectrum. The project overall has been pretty big. We've got a lot to come with this, but we thought we would show everyone a kind of early preview look at what this is going to bring for us, and we will enable creators to create for it. We will put out development kits and such that people will be able to design and make clothing and such for it, which I think will be a really big, huge thing, and have a tremendous impact on and specifically on the new user experience and getting people in to Second Life, because one of my key interests and goals is I want to grow Second Life. I want to get more people in, and that's very important to me. So being able to give people a good foundation to start with, and then be able to move on to the larger creator ecosphere and ecology of products that are available today, is another huge consideration for us in how we're approaching this and designing it. It won't be, as robust and fully capable as some of the we'll call them best in class out there that have been created by our wonderful resident creator community. But this will be, like I said, a great launch off point, so that people are getting something right off the bat that they can actually use and be comfortable with to get started.
Will they be able to edit the mesh avatars?
It's fully slider rigged, so yeah, you can change the sliders around, change the body shape. The shape will be modifiable.
Because I remember there was some mesh avatars a few years ago, and you couldn't modify them, which made it very hard for people who were running classes about, know, how to change your avatar. But this would work perfectly. Good.
Yeah, there you go.
That's wonderful. Will you be producing it in a range of skin types?
Yes. Various ethnicities and such will be available with it. I don't remember the count offhand, but we will have a handful of selections to choose from.
Right. And when is this likely to be released? We're getting questions on YouTube about that.
In the future, trademark.
Right.
Because I'm not saying soon anymore.
Okay. Yeah, great job for the moles who've been working on this.
What an amazing outfit he's wearing.
Yeah, I'm not kind of quite so keen on the outfit. I don't think I'll be rushing to try that one on soon. But yeah, great look.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jester.
Yes, thank you. That was wonderful. Before we leave the question of avatars, as someone who regularly films in Second Life, can I say a massive thank you for the animation overrides in the library, and I do hope you'll be including animation overrides with these new avatars.
Oh, yes. Yes, they will have animation overrides. In fact, we're making an entire new custom set of animations for it.
Excellent. Often when we're interviewing people, we find they're wearing AOs, which are, to put it mildly, restless. So you have male avatars doing the macho strut in a circle thing, and female avatars desperately trying to scrape gum off their shoe. And these take them out of shot, which is very frustrating. So thank you to whoever put simple, straightforward AOs in the library, 2 of them, one for males and one for females. Someone has just asked me if these will be available to long-term users, and I guess the answer is yes, they'll be in the library,
Yes.
just like the others are. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Right, if people out there want a simple basic AO, open your inventory folder, go right to the bottom where you'll see the library, open that, then select clothing, then initial outfits. There's a whole pile of avatars in there. I'd recommend getting the AO from Dylan as a male and Daisy as a female. Right, so back to our regular questioning. Can you tell me a little about the games the moles have created? Are any more planned, or are you still busy building more homes in Bellissaria? Who's going to answer? Abner?
Well, I can tell. My dogs are barking in the background. Sorry. I can tell you that we are definitely building more in Bellissaria. It's going to be quite a while for that. As far as game properties, if there was, I couldn't tell you. That's kind of the rub, isn't it?
That's the problem. Yes, you'd have to shoot us
Yeah.
all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But as far as Bellissaria goes, yeah, we do multiple projects all in conjunction with each other at the same time. So just because we're working on Bellissaria doesn't mean we're not working on avatars or working on a game. We could be. I don't know. Are we? Maybe. Maybe not.
Right. Okay. Siren Bellic asks, now this is a very technical question. Do any of the glitches in Tyra and the Curse of the Magical Glitches have their own backstory? For example, the dynamites and the patchoulis.
I don't think they really have a backstory per se, other than a lot of them, as you can tell, were kind of named after moles and lindens and things. That's really about as much backstory as there is. But yeah, there was. I mean, we would say, hey, we've got these cute little glitch things, and even some of the creators who are creating them would be like, so Abner, what do you want yours to look like? I'm like, I don't really care. It looks okay. Show me. And they're like, oh yeah, that looks good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I've said, yeah, a lot of the names, right? We're really drawn off of various things. The person who probably knew the most about how all of that kind of came to fruition, unfortunately, isn't here anymore, and that was Dee.
Right.
She actually particularly drove, I think, even some of the stylistic choices and such that maybe went into and matched up some of the named glitches to their counterpart of what they were about. But I think that was about the closest we got to any real backstory behind the glitches themselves in particular.
Mm. So we're getting questions now about this. Who did the voices of the glitches? And
Well, I don't remember particularly who, but I would fathom a guess that Garden probably had a hand in the sounds.
Right.
And I don't remember if that's accurate or not, but it's been a little while since we worked on them. But wouldn't be surprised if that were the case.
Right. Now I'm going to ask an individual question of each of you, and I'm going to start with Mr. this time, and work backwards along the line. So, of the annual cycle of events that we have in Linden Lab, and that includes things in the real world like Halloween and Christmas, but also Second Life events like the Second Life birthday, and maybe some of the resident organised things like Fantasy Fair, Relay for Life, all of that sort of thing. Which are your favourites and why? So, Mr.
Well,
I can start with. Oh,
Well, I'm still super new, so I haven't really had the chance to participate in much other than the Second Life birthday. But I've always loved the Second Life birthday. I've played Second Life a very, very long time, so I've always loved the Second Life birthday. And because it's just a great time for residents to get together and everyone kind of comes together. There's the shop and hop. There's all these fun events. It's a super fun time. And yeah.
okay, great. Moving back along to Dion. What about you?
Honestly, I'm kind of not sure what the question was anymore because I was just listening to Mr.
I'm saying the annual cycle of events, both the ones based on real life events like Halloween and Christmas,
Right.
and the Second Life events like the birthday, and the resident organised ones like Relay for Life and Fantasy Fair. Which are your favourites and why?
Oh, that's a tough question. I would say I enjoy all of the events. I think the ones that mean the most to me are the charity events. I don't think I need to explain myself as to why I think those are the special ones. But in the end of the day, all events in Second Life are pretty fun, and I enjoy attending those. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what about you, Abner?
I would say if I had to pick a favorite, I would probably say the things that are centered around Halloween. Just because I think Halloween is it. I mean, it's the perfect holiday for Second Life, where you dress up as whatever you want, spooky, scary, cute. It doesn't really matter. And it's like a big party all around Halloween. It's just fun, and there's so many events that go on, and but I think it's we concentrate a lot on the big events, the Christmas and the birthday and the Relay for Life and all of those things. But I think what's just as important to that are the small events, the things that go on literally all year long, because that keeps it going. It keeps people interested, during the the lulls between the big giant birthday bash and the Christmas thing and all of those. It's what keeps people interested and keeps people coming back on a daily basis. And I think those are just as important to remember.
Yes, yes, they are. Can I ask, Patch, what about you? I know that you love Pride, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, I would say, my three. I would have a hard time, maybe four even. Favorite
Hmm.
kind of like events and things that I like to go to and participate in are, of course, SLB,
Yes,
Fantasy Fair,
yes.
I would probably have to say the Candlelight Processional that I do every year at the end of the year, which is my own personal thing, and Pride.
Yes. I don't know about the candlelight processional. What's that?
It
Or is
is
that
a
private?
It is a holiday event that takes place at the end of the year, kind of a traditional Christmas thing. That is a telling of the story of Christmas in a traditional setting, set to choir music. It's a live performance and kind of a narrative reading. And I'm usually one of the narrators or hosts that does the reading, and it usually runs through the month of December.
That sounds brilliant. I have to confess I've not heard of it before. I really would love to catch it this year.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's great. Many people come for it.
That's brilliant. Okay, so what about you, Squeaky? What are your favourite annual events?
I think Squeaky's having mic problems.
Oh dear.
His favorite event is celebrating how amazing I am.
Right. Okay, thank you.
And we're not having fun with the mics over here this time. It's
Ah,
it's been a challenge.
Dreaming. What about you?
So I really like the birthday because I think it's a very good mix of like residents, and you have music, you have exhibitions, you have the shop and hop, you have the meet at the Lindens, you have like all these announcements. But I have to say that I had the most fun last year at the snowball fight. That was my favorite.
Oh yeah. Yes, that's very popular.
Yes.
Squeaky, I think you can answer us now.
All right, let's see. It seems to be working finally. So I feel like this is a little bit of a trick question for me, because if I don't give the default answer of SLB, I don't know what's gonna happen. But I'm gonna say that SLB is obviously one of my favorites. Doing this for 3 years, getting to know the community, people hanging out here and talking, knowing what I'm doing here. Every time I be on the stage, people know, they either know I'm working, or they just, it gets them excited and talking to everyone. It's super exciting. But I'm going to go for winter. And the main reason for that is just the spirit of winter is just absolutely amazing to me. The moment where we start, decorating, Linden homes and other places, Portal Park, which on the QA side, it goes into QA like basically in October. So starting October starts winter for us, especially for the QA side as well. So it's like the spirit of winter lasts basically 3 months for us. And I have to say that I love it. It's just everything bright, colorful, the music on certain places. As much as I absolutely love SLB, it is a lot of hard work on my side. So
Yes.
for more enjoyment, it will be winter.
Excellent. Alotta, what about you?
Well, it is a tricky question, to be honest. Like, obviously, SLB is amazing. But I like the other causes we can do. Like, as a resident, I love Fantasy Fair because I think it's just a massive event. It's so full of creativity, and it's just incredible to see how all gets together there. Then as a mall, I think the Relay for Life events are always so different. That kind of makes you it makes it interesting every year. Like, you know that they're gonna put you to do something different, and you're doing it for the best cause, even though you're kind of thinking you're gonna be embarrassed because you're gonna do something wrong in the middle of a game or something like that. But you're doing it for the best thing, so it's just fun. Because then, as a mall, everything that happens after Halloween is like a blur because we're working so hard that it's kind of hard to just remember what happens. It's like after the holidays are over, it's like, okay, all that happened. But I do like the candlelight, for example. That one is like, I didn't do the holidays if I didn't went to the candlelight one. But it is kind of very fast season, so it's kind of hard to focus and just enjoy part.
Yes, I can understand that. So let's move on slightly. I mentioned Bellissaria a little while ago. How many houses have you built there now on how many regions?
Well, it's quite a few. We've got 34,845 homes.
Whoa.
Yeah. 1,913 regions have been released. There's 172 currently in what we'll call under construction. So that brings us to 2,085 regions.
Ooh. Now that leads me to another question, which is if you've got 172 regions currently under construction, does this mean some new themes coming?
I don't know if it necessarily means new themes. I mean, we are going to be working on the Linden Homes offering that will cater to Premium Plus. That is actually, unlike the other themes which were predetermined years ago, is going to be a fresh new theme and approach to how we kind of build these out. The theme itself and the thematics of the theme, you know, I tossed out ranch, right, as a particular idea in the other show.
Audience remember, I'm seeing a lot of references.
Yep, I talked about ranch, but what kind of ranch could that be? Like, you know, is that like a southwestern motif ranch? Is it a Spanish type ranch? Is it southeastern? You know, there's so many different takes on ranches that I can come up with, and I don't think we've quite settled on that yet. You know, is it horse pastures, Kentucky bluegrass? I don't know, right? So we're actively going through the design process on that, and that's why we're not committing to potentially having like that particular home theme and or what we decide to do around it ready or released until at the end of the year at the earliest. We've got a lot of stuff in flight though, that I do also want to kind of put out there.
Yeah, go on then, please.
So
put it out.
I'm just gonna rip the can open and spill the beans.
Okay.
Ready?
Go for it. Yes.
Open plan traditionals.
Aha.
Open plan Victorians.
Oh wow.
And 4 new houseboat floor plans.
Whoa. Oh, people are going to love that.
All of them with expansions to each of the types, because they are the most and generally always sold out, along with stilts. Don't have any immediate plans to do any change with stilts because they're still fairly new, right? But the whole strategy here was to kind of go back now, like we said we would, and revisit some of the earliest and first, right? Traditional being the first,
Right.
and make some updates to them. We want to modernize the control panel, actually, even to be more modern, like the most recent homes that have been released. So they're
Right.
going to get an update past there too.
Excellent.
So we're going to do all of this, and this is also all coming between now and the end of the year. Like I said, we have a
Wow.
lot of stuff in flight.
You
New
do.
user avatars, Linden homes, additional home floor plans, and the houseboats. It's gonna be a lot of stuff. So I think folks have a lot of cool things to look forward to, and with the additional Premium Plus, we can do some really cool, unique things. I think with some parcel size changes and stuff. So we're gonna try to mix some of that up too as we build out.
This is just wonderful news, I think. The
Oh, I just saw something go by in chat.
what, futuristic?
More community centers are coming.
More community centers.
That one I'm gonna save. I am gonna keep that one secret because one of the community centers, well, at least two of the community centers that I know we're coming up with and or have begun build out and are, well, one of them's nearing completion. Are pretty fantastical. They're big, grand scale builds that will just wow you as soon as you see them or in their presence. They are awesome.
That sounds fantastic. I've had a quick question. If you'll be building a city theme Linden home area, as in apartment blocks with one apartment with a shop or office building between that and the next city home.
No, it's currently not on the table. We've talked about tackling that before and some of the challenges that come with them. Something like shared wall spaces like apartment builds and such, don't particularly play well in Second Life, especially when it comes to privacy. Some people don't care, some people don't mind, but the reality is that in such close quarters, the enforcement that would potentially come with having to handle, even the slightest little thing poking through your neighbor's adjoining wall, could be quite challenging to deal with. Think floating texts, showing up through your neighbor's wall, and because their TV or something's got some floating text on it or something, and it's just a TV on the wall. To them, it's innocent and non-distracting. To you, it's like it doesn't look great. So there's a lot of things that we ponder, we think about it, and we constantly kind of reanalyze, where and what all of the various potential theme opportunities we have is, and the ones that suggest that sort of kind of close quarters, close communal living type setups, apartment blocks, and such, is the one that we still tend to say still too many check boxes in the cons column to really make it a pro.
I've long had the idea of brownstones around a park would be lovely, but I can see what the problems are.
Yeah, I mean, like way early on in the very beginning, we had even tinkered with the notion of doing some sort of like a Victorian, half commercial, half home type setup, and allowing and or having a specific covenant restricted area kind of interspersed within the communities, that this would kind of play to, where people could have a, like you mentioned, like an upstairs, downstairs, live upstairs in the apartment above or the loft above your shop sort of thing below. And we actually mocked up builds. We actually got pretty far with that concept. But we still kind of had challenges and such that had to be solved. And by that time, the project itself and the whole notion of getting new Linden homes into people's hands had already taken off, and so it's on the back burner, maybe for the future.
Right. I'd like to ask each of you in turn. Okay, before I do that, a couple of people have asked, how do you become a mole? Now, you've all had stories about how you became moles, but if someone now wanted to be a mole, what's the best way of doing it, Patch?
Best thing to do is to send a nice little email over to Derek, which is DERRICK at lindenlab.com, and CC myself, Patch, PATCH, at lindenlab.com. Tell us a little bit about yourself in the email when it comes in. Maybe include some pointers to samples of work that you might do, and or what talents you have that you might feel you could apply to the team. And we'll certainly review it and get back to you. We do have moles that have particular duties and do specific things. There's 44 of them.
Wow.
On the team. So I've got a group of scripters. I've got a group of QA. I've got a couple of folks who manage our projects. I've got content and creators and meshers, people who do textures and folks who do sounds and animations and such. So we kind of cover all of the various specialties. So tell us what what you like to do and what your specialties are. And of course decorators, right? Because we've got to have somebody to make these beautiful regions with us with these Linden homes. So yeah, we generally are always kind of looking, considering, and thinking about what needs we have, and analyzing what we could make use of. And you never know, send us your info.
Great. Okay, I'm going to say out loud now, it's getting very difficult for me to be bombarded with questions. I'm having problems staying in world, so if you keep sending me note cards and things, I'm just going to crash. So please, can people send questions to Patch, and he can crash instead.
People have been sending me questions, folks, and I just want to let you know I do see them. I have them up here on my screen. I'm not responding like I did yesterday. If you were at the show yesterday where I was also handling the questions, I was very proactive in answering and such. There's too many things going on with me being in the show for a change, but I see them and I'll start going through them when that time comes.
Okay, right. I'd like to ask, how do the moles feel about all the hype about meta? Do you think we can hold our own in Second Life?
Abner should answer this first. I really think Abner should answer this first.
Oh, thank you. I want to preface it with saying that these are personal feelings, not, anything we say is our personal feelings and shouldn't be reflective against any official, you know what I mean, as far as feelings about, from the lab. I think that, and I'm going to echo what Grumpity said. The thing that it doesn't bother me that they're trying, a metaverse. It's like, okay, yeah, all right, here, yeah, okay, cool, go ahead. I think what bothers me is the Meta and Facebook and it's the part of it is the old phrase or the old saying, if they're not selling you a product, you are the product.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that has me kind of like, yeah, I don't know if I would really go for that or think that that's going to be successful in the end. And part of me hopes that part of it isn't successful, just because I don't find that particularly appealing for myself or society in general. And I think that's all I'm going to say about it.
Right. I think that Mr. Mole wants to say something too.
I just will say that Second Life is the world we love, and as long as we continue to love the world we're in, then it will be here to stay, in my personal opinion.
Okay, any of the rest of you like to say something?
Well, what I would like to add is those legs. Like, I want my legs. I want to walk around. I don't want to hover all over the place.
Yeah.
That would
Get
be
your
my
legs.
personal opinion on it. I want to keep my legs.
I get your legs right here. I got some legs for you, Dion. Don't worry.
Yay! Thank you.
Yeah, just go on down to the leg lot.
Yeah. Squeaky, did you want to say something?
Truthfully, I don't really pay enough attention on Facebook or other places to really have an opinion on that side. But what I do notice is, ever since that started, I have seen a personal increase in activity in Second Life, and on the mole side and on my resident side. So I personally don't see a harm in it, because it's definitely been increased in general of the topic. People that never heard of Second Life before will certainly hear it because of it. So I don't have an opinion on their side, but in general, it seems pretty good, at least for everyone in the end.
Yes. Driving more traffic our way, that does sound good. Okay, I'd like to ask you, each of you in turn again, what is the favourite thing you've built or created as Mole? And I'm going to start with the Lotta.
Well, I haven't built anything because I'm not one of the creators. There was one of the haunts that we gave those posters from a previous SLB that we took those pictures and we made them posters, and that was very special. It was very nice to see that people just had them in their homes and they would just hunt them around, and it was very nice to see it just going around.
That's lovely. Dreaming, what about you?
I don't think I can say my favorite because it's not out yet, but
Right.
but my favorite that it is the gifts that people are getting from the hunt. I loved making the camera. I think
Right.
it was my favorite.
Okay. And that's the scavenger hunt at this year's Swaginator.
Yes, the Swaginator, correct.
Okay. Brilliant. Okay, so Squeaky, what about you?
Oh, kind of like a lot. I don't actually make content itself. I have made a few rare things here and there, but I guess if I have to make something I have myself have made, I would currently say the hut that we use at SLB for the stage crew. People seem to really like it. I made some big improvements, very last minute. Thinking, like 10 minutes before opening, we're like, oh, I have a good idea, and we're like, I think that was kind of fun to make, and it seems to work really well. So that is currently my favorite. But in general, we, as a team, we make so much stuff, and QA obviously touches everything that from the whole team, it's too hard to say what my favorite will be. There's so many cool things that we do make, and some stuff even doesn't get released that we make, that it's like, I wish it would make it, but there's just some issues with it that doesn't end up making sense, or so there's a lot of things that can go on the list. Just
Okay, Alotta, what about you?
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
Sorry. Abner, sorry, it was a mistake. Abner, what about you? What's your favorite?
I think for the longest time, I think one of my favorite ones was something that made a long time ago when we were, doing some things around the waterways around the mainland, and it was in a region called King Post, and we were pretty much given a free hand to just do something on these little islands, and what I did was I took a bunch of pieces from something that one of the other moles had made, and I made this little kind of pirate village thing. and I had the idea. Okay, I've got a rope, and you think all the old pirate movies where they like slide down the rope, and I made this little, and it was really simple, and zip line. It just uses SL physics. There's nothing really complicated about it, but that's what SL was all about. You know, you take pieces and move them around, and you try something different. And for years, that was always my favorite. But I think recently, in the last 6 months or so, I think that has changed. Because I think I remember going to Patch and saying, "Okay, we have this theme coming out, right? And we have this community center that's just, it's beautiful and it's gorgeous. But think about what you see whenever you see pictures of Japan. It has that mountain." And I said, "What if I can make that mountain?"
Aha.
And he's like, "Well, let's try it and see." So, and we did, and that's kind of how we got the whole Mount Soji part of the Bellissaria Sakura regions.
That's
And
wonderful.
it's turned out so good. It really turned out really good.
That's wonderful.
I just want to add on. I want to plug the video that the team made around that.
Yes,
It was so amazing.
yes. From
Okay.
Max's voice to Dreaming's animation. Was it Dreaming, or was it? Wait, I'm trying to remember who did the
Yes, it
animation.
was. Yes,
Yes, it
me.
was
The
you.
drawings.
Yes. Beautiful.
Can you put a link in the chat to this? So people
I
can
think I can
see
dig it up. Yeah.
That'd be great. So, Dion, what about you?
So for me, I kind of feel like it's hard to answer this question because I think whatever we work on, we get to play with our creativity, and it's usually amazing to be able to do that. Though I think my most favorite thing that I've worked on or decorated for is the Zenoscope region. I think the Zenoscope region turned out, in my opinion, amazing, and I just can't get enough of how it looks and how it feels and just how everything turned out in the end. So yeah, I think that's the thing I have as my favorite build.
Okay. And Mr. Mole, what about you?
So my favorite thing I've made is everybody on our team happy with my fabulous presence. But so I really can't say my favorite thing I've made because it's also not a thing yet. I did make the outfit that Jester is wearing on the except for the shoes. I did not make the shoes, but I did make the pants and the t-shirt that Jester is wearing, and I'm very proud of both of those.
They're
Very
beautifully
happy,
rigged.
very happy with them.
They're beautifully rigged. Not my kind of style of clothing, but I can admire the artistry of them.
I'm not sure if I'm in love with the color combo chosen, but I'm very proud of the outfit, and it's very optimized. So it was a big importance to me to make sure that we're making great content.
Seriously, guys, I picked the colors.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Well, that tells you everything you need to know about Patch.
I don't know if we actually really even consciously thought about colors. It was like, put on something great looking. Boom, done.
Yeah. Right. We've had a few questions. This is going to be a little bit for you, Patch. We've had some questions about Premium Plus from Inarape, and I was wondering if I could ask you about this.
Sure.
These are questions that she's brought up about different things. First of all, does annual subscription remain VAT-free for those in VAT-paying countries?
It does.
Oh, good. Good.
Yes. So the annual premium account types for both regular premium and premium plus will continue to be VAT free.
Okay. The frequently asked questions stated that premium still has a quarterly billing plan, but is this on the premium? This is on the premium sign up page, and Premium Plus seems to be only monthly and annual. There doesn't seem to be a quarterly version.
Correct. Yeah, we made a decision when we rolled out Premium Plus that it would not have a quarterly offering.
Okay.
But I just want to caveat that we are listening to your feedback.
Right. Can Animesh attachments be clarified? You stated that they would be doubled from 1 to 2.
Oops.
However, this is only in respect to basic accounts, as Premium already have the ability to attach 2 animeshes. So
Yes, when I was looking at the feature matrix, as I was actually, blabbering that out the other day, I saw 1 and 2, and so I went 1 to 2.
Right.
And I completely forgot Premium already had 2, so it is still 2, and it will remain 2 for now.
But maybe.
I don't know. Maybe. We'll see.
Is there any addition to transaction history beyond the current 90 days for Premium?
No, it is still at 90 days.
Okay. Does more voice morphing for Premium Plus offer a more extensive range of voice morphs?
No, currently it's the same set of voice morphs that comes with Premium.
Right. Okay, so that were the Premium Plus questions. Now, I think people have been sending you questions fast and furiously.
Yes. So yeah, let's maybe go through them here. I don't know what's best to do here. Maybe I should read them. I don't know if I'll end up having to answer them or not.
Well, if you post them into Discord, I can.
Oh, yeah, I could probably do that too. Let's see.
Okay.
Although this one, here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch the names on all of these just because chat copy paste is being a little wonky. Give me one moment here, folks.
That's okay. Right, so Mills Gullwing. I'd like to know if the decorations for Linden homes will be lower at land impact.
So I don't know if anybody on the team wants to chime in on this. I can actually kind of kick it off at least. There's a lot of very conscious decisions that we make in the design of our content. We have to make our content where it satisfies the most use cases, and in particular, we're sensitive to catering to like lower end or lower performant machines that basically would potentially come into second life. They unfortunately can't run at the various higher graphic settings, including things like level of detail on objects. And so we tend to not leverage the system to where we may do some things that creators have figured out ways to do to lower that land impact in a way that could cause the object to, like, let's say, collapse at a certain distance. So we're particularly sensitive to that. But I think I'll let somebody else jump in if they want, maybe Dreaming.
Yes, when we are creating the mesh, we have to think about all the aspects. And it's not only the land impact that we are worried, is everything. It's the level of detail, it's the quality of the textures. So it's kind of a mixture of everything, and we try to make the best of it. I think that's yeah.
I think I've heard it referred to as the polys, the problems with polys.
You mean the complexity?
Yeah.
Yeah, we try to make it as simple as possible, but with the best result. I don't know if I can explain very well, but this is how we try to make things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
of course, QA also has a big part of it.
Yeah. QA and I mean, when we give the parameters for the things that we're making, like say we want them to make a tree, a tree that's specifically for a certain thing that's coming up or something, we would tell them, they would ask us, well, how many LI can it be? And I'm like, well, I don't want to give an LI count because that's going to kind of skew it a little bit. What I usually tell them is something like, well, the higher LI it is, the less we can use. So keep that in mind. To try to keep the LI count as low as possible, but still make it functional and still meet the other parameters that we have as far as LOD and things. And that becomes very true. It's like, well, we have this tree. It's beautiful. Yeah, but I can't use a whole lot of them. Otherwise, I'm going to use up all the LI. If you could make it lower, I can use the snot out of it if it's, 1 or 2 LI for something, and we'll use it everywhere within reason, of course. But yeah, that's kind of our guiding principle is, if you can make it lower, great, but don't make it lower just for the sake of making it lower. We have to balance all of that.
Right. Squeaky, I think you wanted to say.
Yes, I would like to just add a little more to that as well from the QA side. And this really sums up, right? We're doing this all as a team, right? You can clearly tell we have, the creator, we have the planning, and then you have the QA that basically needs to do the mix between it. During the QA, we check every viewer setting and everything that can possibly be seen as resident, from high graphic to small, low graphic. And then we often need to make the decision to, okay, the LOD is too low. Can we increase it? It will increase the land impact. There's a lot of back and forth between that to find the perfect balance. And in the end, the whole team works together to get the result that we have, which is usually the most optimized on whatever option we have.
Yes, exactly.
That sounds very good. So, can you, Diamond Merchant asks, could you give us some guidance on when it is appropriate to IM a mole for some in-world issues, particularly with respect to Bellissaria?
Well, so it depends on kind of what it is. I really would rather, if you see moles out and about and such, working on making new Linden home areas and such, they're most likely busy, right?
Yeah.
So if you have any questions and such, it's usually best to bring those sorts of things directly to us as Lindens and or in through support through the land ops team under Derek's team. And we can get your questions answered that way probably most efficiently. In fact, there's a ticket type specifically for Linden Homes questions that goes straight to Derek's team and thusly also myself. So that's probably the fastest and best way to bring anything to our attention that you may have questions about.
Woola Sabalin asks, can anyone apply as a mole, or do they need to live in a certain location? I think she means a real world.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And no, you can pretty much be anywhere in the world because it is considered to be a freelancer contractor type position, not direct employment. That kind of allows us to be a little more free with where one might be located, and there are moles all over the world.
You can tell from the accents you hear on this show, on this discussion, that they're not all. There's quite a lot of European moles, aren't there?
Maybe.
Okay. Dan Merchant has another question, which is, will open plan on existing homes be available to premium?
Open plans on existing homes will be available to premiums. That doesn't change. They will just be homes in addition to the homes that you already have access to via the, house controller, mailbox system in front of the house. So they'll show up there as additional floor plans you can choose from.
Excellent. Elder Bellissaria asks, hi Patch, hope you're well. If it would be suitable, ask, when can residents host TCMG? I'm not sure what that stands for. And could residents gift another resident monthly, quarterly, or annual premium membership?
So TCMG is Tyra and the Curse of the Magical Glitches.
Right, okay.
Right. The game was originally actually designed to potentially be enabled to be used grid-wide. The concept for it was to allow folks to have sort of the ability to create localized gameplay spaces. And we ran into a technical issue, and I don't remember what it was now because it's been quite a few years since we had the issue. I would have to go back and look over things and see, what prevented us from being able to move forward with the overall rollout. I feel like we were super close though to having it done and ready to go. And then I think the other half of the question is can residents gift another resident a premium membership? You can. And we can do that manually through support. If you send in a request, they can assist you with the workout on how to get that taken care of.
Okay.
So buy a support ticket.
Saffia Namova has the question, do all moles have their own bears? And if so, may I get their mole bears? I think you need to ask them individually after this talk.
Or we could let the other moles tell us if they have a bear that they can give out.
That's true. Okay, you can say in chat.
I do not have a bear yet because I'm a horrible person. No, but I will make one soon, okay?
I have one, and you should wear it because if you reset the I will make you cry. But I need to make a new one.
Right.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
so
most of
most-
us have bears.
Yeah, most of the people here know that Squeaky, which is me, does tend to have a special bear every event, at least every SLB. I personally do have a strong rule though that I only give bears to people that are within chat range, so that is the 20 meters. I think some of the other moles do that too, so you can't just randomly IM people. And yeah, just to repeat as well, we'll probably give out bears after the interview.
Yeah, if you see me around, just ask for a bear. That's it.
Okay. Now, Tamaril asks, will Second Life and Linden Lab ever offer no name last option for ourselves of your fantasy world to take away the resident as a last name so we may have our given name of elven status? Patch? Have you
Ask that again.
Yeah. Okay. Will Second Life and Linden Lab ever offer no last name option for us elves
Ah,
of your fantasy?
no
world?
last name. Okay, I
No
want to make sure I caught it right. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Every account has to have a first name and a surname.
Mm.
So first and last. So it's the way the system was designed. The closest we ever came with that was when, the resident surname was a thing, right? And you only had the concept of creating a username. So, like when you would log in World, right? Even though you were putting in, you put in your username, you log in, and that's what you would see is just your username in World. But later on, and or even different viewers, third-party viewers and such like that, handle the display of that in various ways. So, like in the Linden viewer, if it is just the username set up with the resident last name, I actually only see that first name,
Mhm.
for example. But the construct of the system, unfortunately, doesn't, fully kind of allow, a no surname type of a name. So we have kind of a technical limitation in the system with that.
Yeah, I can understand that. That's a shame, but yeah, has to be. This is a question for Abner or any knowledgeable Linden. Is there any secret in Second Life yet to be discovered? For example, hidden details or clues left by moles or developers around Second Life, someone to find them and stitch them all together and thus obtain a truth or a fun conspiracy.
I don't. Okay, a truth or a fun conspiracy? I don't think so. But if you're kind of referring to like Easter eggs, yeah. I mean, for a decade and a half, we've been building around, Second Life as moles, and there are tons of little Easter eggs. Most of them are just little cheeky little things that we don't draw a whole lot of attention to, and just let people find on their own. Um, and they're everywhere. They're literally everywhere, scattered all over the place. And there are a few that I don't know if anybody has ever found them. We generally don't know if any is once they've been found or not. But that's kind of what they're for. I will give kind of a little bit of a hint, maybe, and that's we've known for years that y'all never look under the water.
Oh
There
my
are
gosh.
tons of things under the water. Nobody, they just go right past it.
Yeah. And back in the early days of Bellissaria, right? We actually used to have, and we have lots and lots of hidden things. Right down to half sunken houses buried in the sand. The ring is down there still.
Yep.
I don't know if anybody ever found the ring.
The dragons. I don't know if
The
anybody ever found the
dragons.
dragons.
Don't know if anybody found the dragons. The various framed posters and such are still out there when I was doing the hunt game and stuff with the various movie based clues. There's oh my gosh, there's the Bellisarian triangle. Where you go in and you may never come back out.
Yeah. And the big batch of patchouli. I don't think anybody ever found that.
Yeah. Artax? How can we forget about Artax? Atreyu! Come on. It's all there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, you have to. It's rare, but there are some never released content out there too that is in theory just hidden because we decided not to use it. And I know at some places it ended up being buried as well as the Easter egg and stuff like that. And that's the only place you will ever find it. And I think those are pretty neat too.
Now, Quartzmole has just said that most of the questions he gets asked by residents have answers in the wiki, which you can find at wiki.secondlife.com/wiki/LSL portal, and that most issues with the Linden homes, as in my door is stuck, can be fixed by re-resing the house with the house controller. That's just to help people. Let me ask another question.
I think we got a couple more.
Yeah. MJ Tyke has asked, do moles get paid?
Yes, they get daily feedings of worms. Of course.
All
Yes,
the
they
while
are.
the big leap.
They are. It is an hourly paid contractor, freelancer contractor position. So yes, they are paid in
Yeah.
USD. And then of course the platform we use allows that to be localized and more friendly to wherever you may live.
Okay, great.
And in case of emergency, we can always eat the little dragons like Derek.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We make that money, girl.
So, last question from Sarah KB7 Koskinen. Patch, what happened to the fantasy font release?
Yeah, team. Why haven't we released the fantasy font?
What's the
Hold on,
fantasy font?
I'm looking for my finger pointing animation. Hold on.
Derek found too.
I think we got so busy with things we just kind of forgot.
I think we did.
We'll get it out. Yeah, we'll get it out. It is done. It's ready to go. People deciphered it a long time ago. We promised we would release it. We'll put it out. It's totally wingdings.
Yes.
No, it's actually 100% hand created in house. And it's completely unique and specific to fantasy, and you can run around. There are various things spread out all throughout the aptly named Fantasaria part of Bellissaria, and you can actually use the font to potentially decode messages and stuff that you may stumble across. That was the whole point behind it.
Right. Okay. Let me just ask one very final question. What excites you guys most about Second Life in the future? And I'm going to start with Mr. Mole. What excites you?
What excites me most? What an intriguing question you've asked me, Saffia. I would believe that I'm so excited. I'm obviously I'm not going to say too much about it, but I'm so excited about the new user experience. I think that's going to be just fantabulous, and I'm super excited to see where that goes. And I'm just super excited for Second Life to, keep going and make it all the way to Second Life 30th birthday, and then 40th birthday, and then I'll be an old man and I won't care anymore.
Right. What about you, Dion?
Oh, there's so much to come. So many things that I can't talk about. Everything. That's way too much. Way too much.
Okay. Abner.
I think what excites me about it is the fact that there's just so much unknown. It's 19 years already, and if you go back to the tapestry of time and look and see how far we've come, and remember how many times they say, "Oh, this is going to kill Second Life. Oh, this is good. Oh, Second Life is dead." 19 years, it's still here and it's still going, and I have no idea where it's going to be 5 years from now or 10 years from now. But it would not surprise me at all if we were here, like Mr. said, 30 years from now. It's like, wow, 30 years. Yeah. It's like,
Well,
still here.
if you think of the palace, which was one of the earliest virtual chat places, still going. It's not very much used now, but yeah, these things can last.
It's worth noting that I will be 30 next year, and I have played this game since I was 13.
And you plan to do it for the next 30 years as well.
I certainly do.
Brilliant. Okay, so let me ask, I'm going to skip Patch and ask Squeaky.
Oh, this is such a hard question. I kind of have to agree with Ebner. There's so much unknown, and I think the most excited is just seeing the development, that keeps happening. Things that we don't expect keep happening, new features that, for example, that just got announced with Meet the Lindens yesterday. Yeah. There's so many cool things coming up that I won't even think was possible, even going back to today where, I was also pre-mesh, and it's like, things just keep changing every few years. It's going really fast lately too, right? There's just I don't feel like pre-mesh was that long ago, and things just change rapidly, and it's amazing to see that. The other thing I want to obviously say that I'm super excited about is SL20B, because, well, again, 20 years, right?
Yes.
That is gonna have to be a very special birthday, and I think the whole team is gonna put a lot of effort and features hopefully in there too, to make that a very special one. So that's also what I'm super excited for.
Right, so Dreaming, what about you?
I think like Squeaky, like he said, things change so quickly. So I am excited to see what else we can create in the future. Like from the content creator point of view, I'm really excited to see how we can improve everything, how we can make things more beautiful or more interesting to everyone. So I think this is, and I'm not worried about the future. I think we will continue to create a very, very interesting world here, and I'm looking forward to it.
And Alotta, what about you?
Well, obviously, there's a couple of projects that we cannot talk about, so I'm not going to tell you about those. They're pretty exciting. The unknown is always exciting because when you enter into this, one of the most special things is that you obviously love Second Life, so there's always that part of you that is hoping for the next project, how much you can put of you to make it better, and the residents can enjoy and make Second Life better too. So it's always that part of how much you can help to improve everybody's experience and make just everybody have a good time.
Okay, before we go, I know that at least one of the moles is enjoying a res day here today, and I'd like to send happy res day to It's a Mole on the back row, who is 2 years old today. So everyone say happy birthday, happy res day to her. I don't know, has anyone else got a res day today? We'll say happy birthday to you too.
It's not my birthday, but you can tell me happy birthday anyways.
It's mine tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay, then it's already tomorrow in quite a bit of Europe.
Somewhere. Yeah.
So we can say
Okay.
happy birthday to you too.
Thank you.
I don't know where my rest day is. It should be around the corner too, if I didn't already miss it.
I think you missed it too.
Just look at your profile. It's on there.
I think you missed it.
SL birthday, June 24th.
Oh, look at that.
Huh. The same as Abner.
I thought mine was the 25th.
No, yours is 24th too. That's what I'm seeing in the profile.
We're old. We're forgetting now.
Yes, it's setting in.
I'm actually seeing it as the 25th. That's interesting.
Oh, weird. Maybe my viewer's messing up.
But
Happy
Red
Red
Day,
Day.
anyway,
Okay.
Abner.
Thank you.
Okay,
14 years.
right. Okay, I think we're pretty much coming to the end now. And it's certainly getting late for some of our European moles. So I'm going to say the most huge thank you to all the moles for coming today. And it's been wonderful. Thank you, all of you. And happy rest day tomorrow, Squeaky. So thank you very much for coming. It's been great talking to you all. It's been great doing these talks this week. Thank you to the audience for being such a fantastic audience. And thank you to Patch, who's played a big part in getting this organised, as has Brett. Strawberry for posters and streaming. Max for doing the sound. Squeaky for organising things and making sure everyone has somewhere to sit. And thank you. Thank you all so much. And thank you, audience.
And thank you, Saffia.